International support rushes to Japan in quake and tsunami aftermath. With an updated magnitude that increases the quake's intensity from 8.9 to 9.0, the massive March 11 earthquake off Japan's northeastern coast had also shifted the nation's landmass by 2.4 meters. In addition, giant tsunami waves washed away thousands of buildings, cars, and passenger trains as they swept everything in their path 10 kilometers inland. The current fatalities and known missing, that number around 1,500, are expected to reach a death toll of thousands, while one official in hard-hit Miyagi Prefecture said the death toll there could easily be more than 10,000, with 170,000 of the estimated 377,000 currently in emergency shelters being evacuated from around failed nuclear plants in the north. Many are still enduring harsh conditions as shelters lack power and are without heat. Meanwhile, concerns are rising over resources running out as thousands of stranded residents in destroyed communities, as well as millions in their own homes, face increasingly dire shortages of food, drinking water, electricity, and fuel.
While the tsunami waves reaching Formosa or Taiwan and Indonesia did not cause damages, they did involve one fatality in Indonesia. Meanwhile, serious damage was reported in the U.S. states of California, where crews worked to clean up fuel and other pollutants from battered boats, and Hawaii, where at least 60 homes were damaged and hundreds of boats were damaged or capsized. In Latin America, sections of the Peruvian coast were also badly affected, including the town of Pisco, where some 300 homes were damaged, forcing 400 people to spend the night in tents.
Adding to the difficulties of the disaster aftermath, a second hydrogen explosion occurred at the Fukushima plant just after a 6.2 magnitude aftershock hit the region on Monday afternoon, leaving 6 workers injured. Associated Press journalists reported feeling the blast up to 40 kilometers away, as residents within a 20-kilometer radius were told by officials to stay indoors. Meanwhile, Chief Cabinet Secretary Yukio Idano said that following the explosion, the container vessel housing the nuclear material was intact, and power company officials stated that radiation levels remained safe, with radiation risks being identified earlier at 2 additional locations. An initial state of emergency declared by the UN International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, at the Onagawa plant due to high radiation levels was later rescinded, as Japanese officials reported that the levels had returned to normal.
A failed cooling system in the country's oldest Tokai nuclear plant was also restored by a backup mechanism. In addition, Japanese officials informed the IAEA that the explosion at Fukushima on Saturday was not nuclear in origin and did not damage the containment vessel for the fuel rods. With at least 1,500 people tested so far for radiation and 22 who are being treated for unsafe levels, the IAEA stated that plans are underway to distribute iodine to area residents to help shield them from absorbing potentially cancer-causing radiation. While there are still concerns for conditions that could precipitate a nuclear disaster of Chernobyl proportions, which was the only one to be classified as a level 7, the highest in history, the IAEA thus far have assigned level 4 to the events in Japan, indicating a minor release of radioactive material without significant risk of spreading outside the site.
Along with a doubling of Japanese troops to 100,000 that are now dispatched to assist following the quake, international relief efforts also were launched, with Japan being offered assistance from at least 69 countries, like Russia, who is sending extra energy supplies upon Japan's request, along with 2 rescue teams, and placed personnel on standby with 6 planes ready to carry an airborne hospital and 200 personnel. Rescue teams, some with working canine partners, and other specialists have arrived from South Korea, Switzerland, and Singapore. Meanwhile, the U.S. aid response, as initiated by President Obama, includes the dispatch of 2 aircraft carriers, 2 search and rescue teams, as well as naval ships continuing to converge to offer various forms of assistance. In addition, many private aid groups in the U.S. have been gathering funds.
At the same time, humanitarian donations have been pouring in from sources as varied as the European Union, China's Red Cross, Cambodia, Thailand, and the Afghan province of Kandahar. Help has also been arriving from Mexico, Australia, UK, France, and the recently quake-affected New Zealand, where Japan had sent a 66-member rescue crew to assist with their calamity over the past 2 weeks.
A U.S. aircraft carrier arrived at the northeastern coast to begin relief operations, while Chinese help in the form of 15 rescue experts also arrived along with a 41-member German team of mostly Federal Agency for Technical Relief volunteers and a group of medical experts from Doctors Without Borders. To help victims and loved ones reconnect, US-based internet company Google has also created a Japanese quake person finder service at www.google.com/crisis response, where users can search for news about missing victims as well as updated shelter information and other emergency resources.
In addition, the Russian-based international radio station Voice of Russia is airing urgent messages daily in Japanese, Russian, English and Chinese languages from overseas residents wishing to make contact with relatives and friends in Japan through a free 24-hour hotline at +7 495 950 6484 or letters@ruvr.ru.
Upon knowing of the tragedy, Supreme Master Ching Hai had sent her sorrowful and loving prayers as she immediately offered an initial $20,000 to help the most vulnerable, asking our association members to go quickly and offer their comfort and support. We thank the Japanese and international governments, groups, and personnel working to save and protect lives following this tragedy, as well as Supreme Master Ching Hai's caring assistance for the Japanese people. Our condolences and prayers for all those afflicted, and that not only the recovery will be smooth, but that future events as these may be minimized through our combined efforts to create a more pacified global atmosphere.
Supreme Master Ching Hai wants to convey this message of gratitude to all governments, organizations, and relief workers from every corner of the world. Thank you, all the international and national help that brings care and necessities to afflicted victims. Thank you, all the relief workers, for taking time and forsaking your own comfort, even traveling great distance on unfavorable roads and conditions to bring love and assistance to people in time of need. May heaven bless you abundantly for your generosity and noble sacrifice.